What's going on, Veve fam? Welcome to Veve Investments. I appreciate you tuning in. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the rarest collectibles on the Veve platform. So if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below what you want to see in a future episode. And without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy. All right, so our last video, some people enjoyed it, some people did not. I ran a poll this past week just to gather some constructive criticism as to why. And aside from those that voted they enjoyed the episode, there were some people that didn't like it because it was content outside of Veve. Now, to an extent, I understand this. My channel is called Veve Investments, so anyone who clicks on this, or for some people, they're clicking on it because they want to watch Veve content. For those individuals, lesson learned. Our fan favorite episodes seem to be our countdown videos, so I'm going to be bringing 2 of those this week. Now, as we progress through today's list, the collectibles are going to become more and more rare. So with that being said, let's hop into the first collectible in today's episode. So we're going to be talking about 14 collectibles on today's list, and we're starting off with a tie. So on the left-hand side, we got Professor Utonium from the Powerpuff Girls, and on the right-hand side, we got our little baked potato man from Hype Bow, an Eastern brand. So starting off with Professor Utonium, this is going to be the first appearance of him on the blockchain. He's a Season 1 collectible. He's going to be the father figure to the Powerpuff Girls, and he's intelligent, silly, clumsy, and a little overprotective from time to time. There's going to be 450 editions total. He's going for roughly 520 gems in the secondary market. And because we're talking about collectibles that are rare on today's list, I've made sure to include how many are actually available in the secondary market. So out of the 450, there's only 12 available. Now, over on the right-hand side, we have an Eastern brand. It was created by a man named Kevin Cow. He's a collector, personality, and toy producer over in the East. And his streetwear reflects all that he's hyped from the fried pork dumplings from his hometown in Shanghai. So, funny little backstory there, but there's 450 editions of this little guy as well. He's going for roughly 72 gems in the secondary market. And out of the 450, there's 19 available. Now, one thing that I like about today's video is we're actually discussing a lot of collectibles we've never mentioned on the channel so far. All 3 that you've seen so far are examples. So the one you see on screen now is going to be the Headspace Skull. Headspace is based on a series of paintings created by Luke Shui, a Chinese-American artist. So Luke blends pop culture references with surrealist aesthetics. The series is Luke's attempt to give credit to the things that he has had an impact on in his life and career. Now, there's going to be 388 editions total. It's listed for a floor price of 175 gems. There's 19 available in the market. However, this piece is not sold out. There are 176 still available at retail. So next up, a very recent piece that dropped on the app, and one that I absolutely love. It's Radiator Springs concept art. So I love the Cars movies. I'm a huge Pixar fan. I'm fascinated by animation. But this is going to be the first edition on the blockchain. It's original concept art from when they were originally developing the films. Fun little fact about the piece actually is the mountain ranges in the back actually represent the back or tail end of a Cadillac. A little shout out to Veve Viral because I just learned this from him this past week. But Cars is actually the second highest grossing sales franchise ever, roughly $10 billion. And they also have tens of millions of likes on socials. Now, there's going to be 355 editions of this piece. It's going for 110 gems in the secondary market, and of the 355 editions, there's 66 available in the secondary. Next up, another newer piece on the app, and that's going to be the Oh My Mini art piece. So it does have the first edition tag, but in addition to that, a couple little fun facts about Minnie. She originally wore a hat instead of her oversized bow. Walt Disney was actually the original voice of Minnie. I actually laughed when I read that. Apparently he was the original voice of Minnie. He continued to do this for about a year and a half until somebody else ended up taking over. But Mr. Walt Disney himself started it all for Minnie. So that's cool to know. Another very interesting fact here. There was actually a point in time where Minnie didn't speak on screen for over a decade, 12 years. That's insane. Just movements, just actions on screen, but no words. And I'm sure many Disney fans watching this know this one, but Pluto was also originally her dog. There's 343 editions total. She's going for roughly 240 gems in the market. And of the 343 editions, there's only 32 available. We're heading back to the Powerpuff brand, but this time we're talking about him, H-I-M. It's his first appearance on the blockchain. It's a Season 1 collectible, part of the same set as Professor Utonium. His name is actually an acronym and that stands for his Infernal Majesty. He's a sinister demonic villain who loves nothing more than chaos and destruction, and he's number 3 on the Powerpuff Girls top 10 list of arch enemies. There's going to be only 300 of these guys. He's sitting at a floor price of 888 gems in the market, and of the 300 pieces, there's only 6 available. So when I was doing a little bit of research on this piece, I actually learned something I didn't know before. So Vice Lord is a piece created by a man named Tristan Eden. Now, originally a large 5-foot tall physical sculpture, this is the first and only, I repeat, only release in the digital space. The piece is actually inspired by Japanese kaiju and robot toys, and Eden describes Vice Lord as the following. Vice Lord is the patron saint of self-destruction, and it embodies the notion that we are often our worst enemies rolled into one. I always love pieces that have a story behind them, and this is one of them. Now, the piece is going to be glass, so you can actually look through it, which is quite cool. There's 333 editions total. It's listed for a floor price of 110 gems in the secondary market, and of the 333, there's 25 available. At number 7, we're going to be talking about the Cat1 Skull, specifically the black and gold version. So Cat1 is an artist, illustrator, and toy designer. He's originally based in New Haven as a graffiti artist, and he's collaborated with many brands, including Bad Juju, 2 Advanced Studios, Universal Music, EMI, DC Comics, Ford, Toyota, Coca-Cola, Silent Skateboards, and Grind King Trucks. There's going to be 266 editions total. It's going for a floor price of around 220 gems, and of the 266, there's 19 available. Coming in at number 6, we're going to have a 3-way tie, all from the same brand though, and that's going to be Lincoln Design. So Lincoln Design is a brand design and creative agency. They provide things like advertising, apparel, packaging, and more. And these guys have relations out the wazoo, like, oh my God. Previous relations with Google, Disney, Universal, Hasbro's, Adidas, DreamWorks, and many, many more. I'll make sure to toss a picture of all the relations on screen. Now, all 3 of these boards are going to have 250 editions. Fun little fact for you, there was actually originally only 1 gold board. I can't remember the exact reason, but there was something that happened on drop that affected some users, and whoever was affected by whatever happened, they were airdropped the version 2 gold skateboard. Now, the first gold board is going to be listed in the market for 750 gems. There's 9 remaining of the 250 editions. The board in the middle is listed for a price of around 160 gems, and of the 250 editions, there's 20 available. And the golden skateboard version 2 is listed for around 320 gems in the market, only 10 available of the 250. Next up, and probably one of my favorite pieces on the app, we're going to have the self-made decon piece created by Brett Crawford. So I mentioned before that I always love a piece that has a good story behind it, and this is a prime example. So this piece is rooted in the relentless hard work, persistence, and vision found in every story of self-made success. Self-made celebrates the journey as much as the destination. I think there's going to be a certain type of person that can relate to a piece like this. I would definitely consider myself one of them. I'm the only entrepreneur in my entire family. I dropped out of my commerce program when I was 19. I had the intention of going to law school. My mom was a teacher. That's a whole other story for a whole other day, but this is a piece that has meaning behind it. And that, coupled with the fact that there's only 250 editions, I do think this piece is going to be quite sought after in the future. Now, unfortunately, I don't have one of these in my collection. I would love to. It's going for around 600 gems in the secondary market. I personally would rather just spend that money on other things right now. But of the 250 editions, there's 19 available. Next up, we got Miles Morales. So this reminds me of our next episode. I'm going to be talking about my favorite animations on the platform. This is going to be a piece on that list as well. But if you guys are interested in finding out what's also on that list, make sure to tune in on Thursday. So this is his first appearance on the blockchain. We mentioned him a couple times on the channel now, but for anyone who missed those episodes, this is how I describe him. It's only a matter of time before Miles Morales surpasses Peter Parker. That is my personal opinion, okay? Generally speaking, Peter Parker is more popular. I'd still make that argument. But among young demographics, Miles Morales is more popular. It is only a matter of time before those younger demographics grow up and we go from having a select few generations that favor Miles Morales to the majority of generations that favor Miles Morales. That's what I think is going to happen. That's how I think it's going to unfold. If you guys agree with me, make sure to drop a like on the video. If you don't, make sure to comment down below why. But there's going to be 250 editions of this piece as well. much more expensive now. He's sitting at a floor price of 7,800 gems. Not really surprising considering Spider-Man is the most popular character in the world. And of the 250 editions, there's 22 available. In third place, we're talking about Donny, and this is an OG collectible on the platform. I remember back in the days when this collectible was talked about a lot more than it is today. It's going to be his first appearance on the blockchain, Season 1 collectible, part of the same set as him and Professor Utonium. In fact, I actually think it is one of the rarest sets on the entire app. The only other collectible that we haven't discussed that isn't on today's list is going to be Bubbles, and she has 600 editions. But Donny is actually going to be the rarest in that set. He's revealed in his debut episode to actually be a unicorn. His horn is so small that it actually covers his mane. Now, he did drop for a price of 17 gems originally, way back in Season 1. There's only 150 editions, but despite only dropping for 17 gems, or in other words, 17 US dollars, the piece is sitting at a floor price of around 20,000. I will throw a disclaimer out there and say that I do not think this price truly reflects the value of this piece, but regardless, of the 150 editions, there's only 9 available. Second to last, and one of the most confusing pieces to me on this platform is going to be, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, a Lazolas, but anyways, the blue one. Now, these were created by an artist named TNES. It's an acronym that stands for the Never Ending Story, and I guess the idea behind that is that he's always evolving, developing new skills, new stories, new experiences, that type of thing. He does have quite a large portfolio, ranging from fashion and graphic design, event creation, professional photography, cinematography, directing, and designer toys. The designer toys having to do with this collection specifically. Now, there's 111 editions. Funny little fact though, there wasn't supposed to be. So I remember David actually giving an explanation to this at one of the decons. For those who don't know, David is the one who sets the edition sizes. And if I remember correctly, every single piece in this set was supposed to have one more number on their edition size. So in this case, the 111 editions was supposed to be 1,111. The wood version that has 444 editions was supposed to be 4,444, and so on and so forth. It is going to be listed right now for a floor price of around 1,000 gems. And of the 111, there's only 10 available. And last but not least, and probably obvious to most people watching this, is going to be a tie between the James Bond Aston Martin and the James Bond ticket. So both of these are going to be first editions on the blockchain. They actually dropped the ticket when the No Time to Die film released in theaters. So if you happen to get one of these, which was only available in the US, you were able to redeem it at a select theater, and I believed it redeemed up to 7 times. The James Bond started in 1962 with Dr. No, starring Sean Connery as Bond. The films are actually one of the longest continually running film series ever, and they've grossed over 7 billion US dollars in total box office sales, making it the 5th highest grossing film series to date. Now, there's only 7, I repeat, 7 editions of both of these total, and believe it or not, there is actually an individual, I believe his username is White, but they actually own both. So right now, the Aston Martin is sitting at a floor price of 70,000 gems in the market. There's actually 2 available of the 7. But as for the ticket, there's 1 in the market. It's actually listed by the individual who owns both of these, I guess as like a little flex. But it's listed for 1.1 million gems, which obviously I don't think is a price that reflects the actual value of it. But regardless, even if you wanted one, you probably couldn't get it. Now we're going to move over into some honorable mentions. I'm going to run through this list relatively fast just because there are a lot on screen right now. And keep in mind, guys, this isn't everything on the app. It's just as much as I could really fit into a video. So if you couldn't tell already, a majority of these are going to be decon pieces, but starting it off in the top left, we're going to have Ink Stories with 888 editions. Next up, we're going to have a piece called Always Somewhere Else with 650 editions. We're going to have the Gold Little Friends collectible by X Large with 488 editions. We have Creeping Dero, the black version with 555 editions. We have Six Eye, another skateboard with 450 editions. We have the wood version of Lazolas with 444 editions. We have Mr. Bones with 666 editions. Dirty Trooper with 788 editions. Next, That Cat Bronson with 888 editions. We have the Death Bunny with 666. Another beautiful piece in my opinion, the Lilitoo, 666 editions. We have Boo the Cat with 666 editions. We have both the Neapolitan Tings, one with 888 editions, the other with 555. And then we have Shut Up and Draw and Shut Up and Paint with 888 editions each. I do have Bubbles listed as an honorable mention, 600 editions, part of that Series 1 set with him, Donny, and Professor Utonium. We have the Jermaine Rogers Rabbit with 888 editions. We have the 2 Golden Serial Killers, both with 888 editions. And then we have 2 Marvel posters. So the one on the left here is going to be the Black Panther poster. Little fact about this one that I learned this past week. There's 1,440 editions, but only 100 of them were actually claimed. So if Veve ends up burning the remaining editions, this will actually be the most scarce Marvel collectible on the platform. I don't know the exact numbers for the Thor poster on the right, but a very similar situation. And last but not least, to round off the honorable mentions list here, we have the Battlestar Galactica logo that was actually just airdropped to holders of the emblem. That piece with 530 editions. So that's going to conclude today's episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I did mention for our next episode, we're going to be covering my favorite animations on the Veve platform. So if you guys are interested in finding out what those are, make sure to tune in on Thursday. As for this one, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Comment down below what you want to see in a future episode. And as for our next, I'll catch you then.